Welcome in, LSU fans, to another edition of the Bengal Tiger podcast, part of the On3 network. And most importantly, we're in the shade.
We are in the shade.
We're like little children waiting on the bus to pick us up for school.
We are sitting down.
I'm a little more of an aggressive sitter, I guess.
Yeah, I'm gonna be laxed a little bit here, but we are here in the shade after LSU's practice number 11.
11. Yeah.
11. So yeah, we can go anywhere you want. How do you want to start it?
Like, subscribe.
Yeah.
Make sure you do that. Still looking for that umbrella sponsorship. It's a lot cooler here in the shade, so we're going to talk maybe a little bit longer.
Yeah, Bryce wanted to do it in the sun again.
We were going to do it right out in the middle of the concrete, and it was going to be 5,000 degrees.
Not doing it.
What you're really here for is for us to talk about LSU football, and the Tigers go out for another day of fall camp. Brune, you were in attendance yesterday. I don't want to go too much into yesterday because it was one of those things where not a lot going on today. Pads are popping.
Yeah.
I headlined it in the fall camp report that I just wrote up. The defense had a great day, and they showcased depth both on the first and second team.
Yes, there was only one play where the offense was better, and I feel like I'll start there real quick.
You just sent a panic through the fan base, by the way, by saying just one play. It's the truth.
Garrett Nussmeier found Xavier Thomas for about, 20 yards?
15, 20-yard touchdown.
20-yard touchdown. Really great throw. Xavier made a contested catch, just kind of in some traffic, made a nice play for a touchdown. Everything else was defense. Now, I did think it was interesting. They did the ones offense versus two defense and the twos offense versus the one defense. So they kind of rotated that around. But I still thought the defense just on both the ones and the twos was just better across the board. So it's encouraging. We know, the second team defense, for those who aren't, aware of, what the depth chart looks like right now, it includes DJ Pickett,
Patrick
Payton,
Jamari Butler,
Ahmad Bro out there, all these Devon Keys, Tylen Singleton, really good players, Deshaun Spears. So it's still a really good unit, and it speaks to what we've talked about constantly is the depth.
Yeah.
But yeah, again, outside of that one touchdown for Nussmeier, which was already in a red zone period, there wasn't a ton. I will say they had Barry and Brown on a go route on the right side where it was pass interference on
P.J. Woodland. Yeah.
So that was another good play for the offense. But other than that, yeah, the defense I thought really controlled it.
I thought they controlled, and this front seven so far, and I know we've kind of beat a dead horse with this topic, but they're really dictating things. And I think that's maybe a different word that I haven't used, at least. I don't know if you have. That's a massive difference in this year and years prior is this defense isn't allowing things to happen. They're dictating. They're being on the offensive and creating opportunities. Multiple things. Harold Perkins, blew up a play. Jack Pyburn finished it off on a run game, on a gain of nothing, really what it was.
There were a lot of rushing, stuffed runs.
It's all congested. But I think that's the biggest thing is the running lanes are really non-existent right now. And it feels like if a running back is to make a big play, I can count on my hand one that I feel like I've seen in terms of a 20-plus yarder, which was probably Caden Durham on Saturday had one. It's either a busted play or it's the off chance that maybe the lineman gets to the point of attack on a pull play that he just beats the man. Other than that, man, this defense, they're not just we're going to let things happen. They're making plays at or behind the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, and this is where you see Durham's kind of highlight him. He is able to make something out of nothing, which he did last year.
And he's had to do, yeah.
And so that's where you separate him from the other backs here, which we expect Harlan Berry to get there eventually. But Caleb Jackson and Jawan Johnson, the difference there is significant. You see Caden Durham just able to really find some creases. Now he's been stuffed plenty of times as well, but I think that's kind of the pop factor, I guess, for Durham is that he's able to make something out of nothing occasionally. But other than that, in the big picture, the running game just still has not been good enough. And
it's resulted in a point that I made in the fall camp notes that they are trying to lean into Jawan Johnson. Obviously, with the J.T. Lindsey situation, him not being around the program right now, you've got Harlan Berry, who probably you'd love to maybe put on a tad more weight to run in between the tackles, but he can do what he can do in terms of the pass game. But if Caleb Jackson isn't going to be the guy, and I've pointed this out to you, I kind of think today we saw Jawan Johnson maybe take a little more carries outside of that Wildcat formation and the goal line formation. Whether it was utilizing in the 7-on-7 out of the pass game, whether it was just straight up design counters or dives, Jawan Johnson was playing a bigger role today than I think we've seen all fall camp.
Yeah, Jawan is an interesting player here because we know how talented he is and we know what he can do with the ball in his hands. I still don't know if he's on that level of the Caden Durham and Harlan Berry, but they're going to give him every chance to see.
Oh, yeah.
And they have given him every chance at running back consistently over the past few practices since JT Lindsey's been out. So,
yeah.
We've seen it now multiple practices where they have gone to, I guess it's like a wildcat inside the 5 situation where it's a direct snap to him or it's a direct snap to the running back, which we could talk about in a second.
Oh, my God.
The disaster that happened there. But they are giving Jawan Johnson plenty of opportunities to see maybe he can be a game changer in certain situations.
We talked about this on Saturday, Brune, the desperation to score 6 that we're seeing in fall camp. And they're trying to get creative. Today, I thought they got too cute. So essentially, I'll kind of lay this out for you. I know fans get mad because we're talking about, formations.
No, lay it out.
But here's what they have. They've got 3 guys in the backfield. Van Buren is then going to motion out. And here's the key. Van Buren, they did this with the second team offense, so let's remind you of that.
But they did do it.
They've done it with the first team. But
the
specific play we're talking about here is Van Buren, flows out to the slot where Harold Perkins on that first team defense kind of stood over him. Perkins knows that Van Buren is not a threat.
Correct.
That he is not going to do that. So the whole time, Perkins is keying in on what's happening in the backfield where we have Jawan Johnson as the Wildcat quarterback, Caleb Jackson next to him. Now, from what we've seen, they're going to snap it to Jawan Johnson. Jackson's going to be as a fullback lead blocker. Brune, today, and I do not understand this. This is one of the first times I'm going to publicly question, maybe you have, but publicly question kind of the concept of this. You're snapping the ball directly to Caleb Jackson, and you're going to utilize Jawan Johnson as the lead blocker in a goal-to-go situation. I don't love that, and you add in the fact the ball bounces off the face mask of Jackson, Mansour Delane picks it up, takes it for 6 the other way.
It would have been a 95-yard scoop and score touchdown.
And it wasn't because the offense let up. There was nobody in the vicinity.
Yeah, literally.
That's a problem for me. The goal-to-go offense right now, there's nothing that we've seen in fall camp, and even dating back to last year, I have not seen a development of a comfortable play call or a comfortable set of play calls when you get in 3rd and goal, 2nd and goal, inside the 7 or 8 yard line.
Yeah, it's been Jaden Daniels took such pressure off of everybody with his legs in the red zone that it was different. So when you lost him last year, it became how do we figure this out? And they were really never able to figure it out in the red zone. So I went into this year hoping Caleb Jackson could be kind of that short yardage back. They're experimenting with Jawan Johnson, which everybody wants them to do, which I'm fine with. I don't think we've seen it be effective.
Not once,
really,
I don't think,
at all. So what I go back to is they might have to just go back to throwing the ball. You might have to just find Trey'Dez Green,
use some rub routes to get those guys open.
Get creative and try to just throw it in here because if you have the ball at the 3-yard line, I have no faith that they can run it in for 3 yards right now.
I'm going to go hot take. If it's 1st and goal at the 5, I don't think you're getting it in just running the ball 3 times. I mean, seriously. Unless your opponent, and this is no disrespect, is Louisiana Tech, Western Kentucky, or Southeastern, every single other front that you face has guys capable of stuffing you right now.
Yeah, and that's what.
Luckily, you don't play today. But
yes, right now, yeah. But that's been the problem, and that was a problem last year, and it was, obviously compounded by the lack of explosive talent at receiver to where you couldn't get those 30, 40-yard touchdowns. We do feel like they have that this year.
They have
that.
That's a difference. You could score from 30 yards out.
So they shouldn't be inside the 10. Let's say last year they did it. They were inside the 10, let's say, 25 times or something. You hope that number's maybe 20 or 18 or something, and you have 5 other touchdowns coming from 30-yard passes. That's the difference this year is you have Berry and Brown, who we've seen have really good practices now stacked up on top of each other. And
Nick
then
Anderson working with the
Nick
ones.
Anderson's getting it with the ones. We can go down the receiver depth chart all we want. Hilton is obviously still on the team and still playing well. So that's the hope offensively is you are more explosive even if you're still not able to finish consistently inside the 5, inside the 10. You hope you take some of that pressure off because you do have some playmakers on the perimeter.
I wanted to add this, and I mentioned this when I was talking about the formation. Look, it's going to be Garrett Nussmeier starting at quarterback, so let's just paint the picture. When Nussmeier, motions out, we haven't seen it yet, but I would freak out if they ever tried to give him the ball in that situation.
If it's Van Buren, it kind of makes sense.
It makes sense because he's more athletic.
Throw him the ball.
And that's not a knock on Garrett, but it's as a defender, and Blake Baker talked about this yesterday, and I wrote about it, as a defense, you want to be able to put as many hats on the football. You're taking a defender, you're adding another problem if you're an offense and you split Nussmeier out, because that defender, whether it's a hybrid linebacker,
I would just
safety,
go regular wildcat, like just
I wouldn't put him out there.
Just go jumbo, or if anything like that. Put Giovanni Peterson out there as an inline blocker. They put Bo Bordelon out there last year.
It's 10 versus 11 when you
exactly.
do that.
And so that's what I would like to see. If we're gonna go wildcat, just lean into it. Be 100%. Physical, put a sixth offensive lineman on the field. Do whatever you gotta do to where Jawan can throw the ball, but just put Jawan and Caden Durham or Caleb Jackson back there and just go try to hammer it.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I mean, a lot of the things we saw today, kind of moving away from that, is much of the same. So I don't want every podcast to sound the same. This defense, it's flexing its muscles in terms of the two deep. I think, Brune, I think you're going to have some really good players that don't play as much as maybe
Correct.
they have earned the right to.
Correct.
And that's a good problem to have as long as you keep everybody happy, right? That's a good problem to have.
I mean, they kept them happy enough in the offseason, in the spring and whatnot.
Well, and a positive out of that might be that a lot of these guys are one-year rentals. So you have guys like a Deshaun Spears is the perfect example. I thought he's looked pretty awesome. Harrison Valentine over there recording the pod from different locations today. I thought that you've had Deshaun Spears and he's allowed to grow, but you don't have to have him.
Correct.
And so with Halsey and Cooley not having too many years of eligibility, Halsey's done after this year.
Yeah.
And I can't remember Cooley's eligibility.
Cooley has
at least one more year
after this. Yeah.
You can pitch, hey, Spears, you're going to play a role, but next year you're going to be the guy in year 3.
Yeah.
So I know that's getting a little bit ahead. I just think the depth of this defense is shining consistently. Offensively, you still have a lot of questions about just everything's
my
clunky.
biggest gripe has been the past few practices is the penalties.
Oh,
and we've written about this, but
we haven't really talked about it much,
yeah, it's been just penalties, false starts, delay of games, like procedural stuff.
Yeah.
When they got down to the one after the Berrien DPI, there was a flag, and I didn't know what the flag was. Was it a false start? I couldn't tell if it was a legal procedure or something like that. If we get technical, but it was some sort of offense penalty. Backs you up to the 6.
Yeah.
And you go from obviously being from the 1 to the 6. It's like small stuff like that. Brian Kelly is
changes with your inability to put the ball in the end zone. It changes everything.
Yes, it changes everything. So we've now seen Brian Kelly be like, hey, if it's a false start, run them, pull them, run them. Just we're tired of this. And it hasn't all been first team. It's been some second team as well. But like the offense has been more penalized than the defense by a significant margin.
Significant margin. I would say even the defensive penalties you're getting, going back to that Woodland defensive pass interference, I like that penalty because you're not giving up a touchdown. You're making an offense that struggles to score, put it in the end zone. So, yeah, I mean, I'm with you that the penalties are bad. Today, Weston Davis was complaining about some little bit of cramping, but he got pulled during the early team period because of a false start. And the first tackle off the board, and a little nugget for you, was Ori Williams. No disrespect. I think it shows you that's a thing where
they're looking
someone's
for
got
their third tackle.
They're looking for a guy that can play tackle, whether it's Carius Kern on the left side or you can have Ori be a swing tackle. Man, I'm not hitting the panic button. There's real concerns, I think, leaving today's practice about you're almost 2.5 weeks into this thing, and I don't know if the offense has felt crisp yet.
Yeah, it's sometimes they bring good energy. And I
Which
think
you
that
need.
is, and I think that, and sometimes they hit some home run plays. Like again, maybe this is just a boomer bust offense, and that's not great. But I think it will come down to the offensive line and the run game in terms of consistency. But I will say, just to play some devil's advocate here, at the very least, they do have playmakers that are going to flip the field. Like they're going to get vertical and whatnot. So like, it might just be a boomer bust type of offense here. And that's not great, but I think then you have to figure out the running game off of that. And at the very least, you push some safeties back. You try to get a lighter box there, make it easier. I'm just looking for any path to where they're able to find a consistency in the run game. And that might be what it be. You might be such a good passing attack that you get a light box and you're able to run it for 3-4 yards at a time.
You know what scares me, though? What if you're not? What if the same issues persist in hitting the deep ball to where teams don't have to respect it, and then it's what we see in fall camp. They can't do anything. Yeah. The first team offense had a three and out that consisted of a stuffed run, a pass that went for no gain, and then the pass deflection from Ashton Stamps, who stuck to Aaron Anderson.
Great play.
So,
great play.
I mean, you're talking about a group that, man, when it's not working, it's a little concerning. Now, obviously, the question is this defense just so good? We'll see. I do think the defense has some legitimate talent and legitimate, I think they're going to be good. I think they'll be good. How good does this offense need to be? That's the question. If you can throw the ball well enough to get those light boxes, Caden Durham's going to be able to make at least one guy miss.
Yes.
Where you get in trouble is if he's got to make 2, 3, 4 guys miss.
Yeah, I mean, that's the difference. And you do have tight ends that can play. There's too many weapons on this offense for me to really be like, they're going to stink. Like, I can't see it.
I can't see it. I don't know if it's going to be.
Garrett Nussmeier at quarterback. You have
who has looked great.
Nussmeier's been really good. So now it's like, all right, just figure it out. And I think they will figure it out. I think Joe Sloan's smart enough. I think Brian Kelly's smart enough. But that's kind of – I thought that said on 3.
We thought the train coming past here, we thought it said on 3. No, listen, it's a good time to wrap it up here. We appreciate you tuning in. LSU, a little bit iffy. There we go, baby. Subscribe to the Bengal Tiger On3 YouTube channel. Come hang out with us over on the message boards as well. He's Matthew Brune. My name is Bryce Kuhn. We'll have another podcast later this week. We appreciate you tuning in. We'll see you next time.
Thank y'all.